everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the cast. I'm very happy to be here today. I'm also very pleased to be joined by Dreamcatcher and Acid. Today, we're going to be covering a variety of subjects from cross network play all the way down to new games to be announced at E3. This will be a variety of subjects and generally just a overall conversations and thoughts and feelings on the gathered subjects. I'll start out first. My name's Salt. I am a local town gamer who enjoys a variety of different games, shooters, simulators, and general RPGs. Fallout and so on and so forth. I'm gonna go ahead and introduce my next guest, Miss Dreamcatcher. If you want to go ahead and say hi to all the people.
Well, hello. My voice cracked right there. Nice. I mean, there's nothing much to say about me. You, oh God, there's nothing
I'm
much to say about
sorry.
me. You
I
said it
tried
right.
not to laugh at that, but I was like, I caught that.
I know. Oh. Anywho, yeah, my name's Dreamcatcher, and I normally just play video games. Nothing really much about me. Uh, what I like mostly currently when I'm playing is Fallout 4 because of the new DLC. Pretty awesome. And I'm just gonna pass it on to Acid.
What's up, everyone? I'm Acid. I am the founder of Take 10 Gaming, and I don't really know what else to say, honestly. I'm terrible with like self-descriptive kind of shit like that.
Well,
You,
generally on
it's
Take Ten
okay.
Gaming, you will find mostly the shenanigans of Acid here on his various gameplays. Currently, what do you have going? You have South Park. I believe you did mention something a couple days ago about reviving the old LSPDFR. Although I rather liked watching you get murdered in Grove Street, but hey, as a friend, that's just me enjoying your misfortune.
Yeah, it's
um,
I can actually kind of touch on that for anyone who's coming here from watching my videos. That's kind of a plan that I've had to bring back LSPDFR because I know a lot of people enjoyed that, but I was actually having issues with actually OBS crashing GTA 5, which meant I couldn't record story mode, I couldn't do online, and I also couldn't even like begin to resurrect LSPDFR, but all of that is actually fixed now, so once I get off my lazy ass and get around to doing that, videos of hopefully all of that will be going up again.
good, good. I see. One of your bigger things right now is South Park: Stick of Truth. Um, Personally, from a game I've played, it's a great game. I enjoy it. It really does capture the spirit of South Park in the game itself.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. I'm enjoying it a
Now,
lot. I don't know how much people are enjoying watching me play it because I'm kind of the explore everything and like not really do questing first kind. So I know a lot of people will be like, "Well, it took you 2 hours just to like walk through the town and you didn't even really get much done." That was why once I actually started like going back to it and recording it again, I was like, I just need to go and like just focus on the quests like right away. So that was why the last two episodes I had up were like literally just okay, I'm gonna try and fucking get as many quests done as I can in that time.
good, good. Today we're gonna be covering, like I, previously recapped in the intro, a variety of subjects. I think the first one we should start with, and actually some pretty big news from a much larger company. Microsoft is actually in talks, or well, I guess we're past the talking stage, but we're in the planning stages of cross-platform gaming now. With this idea Microsoft has, it's a very large type of concept, and don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to it. But me being a realist, I can see a fuck ton of problems that are going to come up with this. Mainly due to the fact because when each game gets ported out, or like your console games get ported to PC or vice versa, there's a whole separate process just to get everything to go through. And personally, I can see a lot of bugs or even just network errors when this first launched. I don't know. How do you guys feel?
I
I
don't know.
I don't know, I kind of feel like it's something that, if done well and properly, would be good, but at the same time, it could also be, like you said, very bad given the fact of, there's so much that could go wrong. But I don't know. Either way, I'm excited to see at least the potential of this because as much as everyone wants to be like, oh, you know, PlayStation is better or Xbox is better, or even more commonly, at least according to the stigma around it, is PC Master Race. But at least with me, I don't care what people play on. So for me, this is kind of like a a good thing, I guess, more so than like people being stuck to just one thing. But I guess I can also see why certain people will be like, "No, I don't want it. I don't think we should mix all the systems together," because essentially that's what's going to happen.
I mean, for what I could see, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One's like totally different communities. Like I have friends who have PlayStation 4 and then I have an Xbox One. It's completely different. Like I don't know what it is. It's just different communities. So joining those together, it's gonna be one awkward just playing all together. And one thing I'm very, very like concerned about. Okay, let's just say since I'm playing on the Xbox One and they have the cross network play thing, is it gonna be like I could play with random people on the PlayStation 4, or can I like actually join my friends who's on PlayStation 4?
I
Just
would
doesn't
assume it
make
would
sense.
kind of be like, essentially joining your friends on Xbox, because obviously, as long as they do
Okay.
this properly, if you can play with another platform, one would assume it would be like, So now that I think about that, that's actually a really good question. I'm glad you brought that up because that does open up another area of like, is Xbox or even PS4, are they going to have ways where you can like interact with people from other platforms like on your friends list, or is it only going to be like you would have to go into like say if you're in the same crew for like GTA, assuming GTA does it. I don't know if they're going to or not, but assuming that they do, would it be like you could go into like say your GTA and go to like online on Xbox and go to like the join crew members or whatever? If then it would work, or is it still just gonna, you know, assume that it just wants Xbox players?
It's one weird thing.
And this can open up another gray area, or even more so of a black area, because it depends on all these three companies. I mean, we're let's face it, we're probably the majority of PC players are probably going to go through Steam. So you have Steam, Microsoft, and Sony all trying to create a gray area. Now, I mean, let's face it, these companies have not played well in the past with each other. Um, there have been heated disputes between, and it's not just the community; it's the company themselves. Microsoft doesn't necessarily like Sony. Sony doesn't necessarily like Microsoft. Steam doesn't really, like any of them. But I mean, you have to sit and consider like who's going to control what part of this inter community cross network play, and how's it going to be moderated. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, before I can really get my heart set on it, or before I even, maybe I'm the scrub of the group, I don't play Rocket League, I really don't have interest in it, but maybe if there can be a solid ground plan, uh excuse me, a solid ground plan on how to intermingle all these consoles with all this community coming together at once, I'd get a little more behind it. But as of right now, I'm just honestly skeptical about it because I can just see so many things going wrong.
Same here. I really don't know how they're gonna make it work because, like you said, they're both big companies. They're both like I wouldn't say hate each other, but they both just
I
don't
mean,
want to be in each other's business.
when it comes to one talking to the other, it's kind of almost like a force, like little
Yeah,
push, like,
I think
oh,
that's the biggest
go
thing
ahead
is
and go
like
talk.
Pretty much.
it's not so much that they hate each other, it's just
It's
like even
these
players from
people don't have
Xbox,
anything with each other.
and it's kind of like the stigma around like, oh, I play on, because like obviously I have a PlayStation 4. That's not because I don't like Xbox. It's just that's what my friends have. You know, like aside from
Same.
PC, all of my friends have a PlayStation. So for me, you know, why would I invest my money when the majority of my friends, i.e., the people that I'm usually playing with when I do play online, are on a different system? You know, for me, it just doesn't make sense to go Xbox.
Oh, pretty much. For me, it's the same thing, except the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm with the Xbox One because most of my friends are on the Xbox One. And then I have, sure, I got like a couple of friends over at PlayStation, but the majority wins for me. So I went with the Xbox One.
But even
Wait,
then, like, if
Thursday
they
and
do this
on.
cross network play properly, that won't matter. Like, that's for me why it's exciting. It's because, like, literally, think of it for in this example. You both are on Xbox One, I'm on PlayStation 4. If this is done properly, that's not going to matter anymore. As long as the game supports the cross network play, it doesn't matter. Even if they do it with PC, I could play on my PC, you guys could be on Xbox One, or, you know, all of us could be on PC playing with, you know, say like some of my friends on PS4 or something like that. That for me is the biggest thing of why I personally am excited to see how this pans out.
Yeah, same here.
You know, all very valid points. I'll give you both that. Those are completely reasonable arguments. And I'm not trying to give you the stereo, like I acknowledge, your argument. That's stereotypical bullshit. However, the only other drawback I think that really can come back from this topic is, are we going to see companies charge more, or even game developers charge more for this feature? Because let's face it, this could very well go through, but the
Oh, it could
companies
be
can
a
be like,
huge
yeah,
selling
double is
point
more.
too.
Yeah, and I already kind of feel like I'm getting gouged at the game store when I'm already getting a brand new out of the box $60 games with season passes, with DLC, day one content. If I want all that shit, some games like I'm not trying to bastardize them or point fingers, but a really good example is Star Wars Battlefront from Origins for the PC. You could get the base game for $60, but for, I think it was the Legendary Edition or whatever their rendition of it was called, for like all in the season pass, it was like $120. Personally, I will never be comfortable ever dumping that much money into one game. Holy shit, your mic's hot. Anyways, um, yeah, I will never be comfortable dumping that amount of money into one game. I can't do it. Now,
No,
if it
that
was like
that's
a
fucking
box set of like
crazy.
3 games, no, if it was like a box set for like 3 games with all the DLC and whatnot for like $40 a piece, I could see doing that because I'm getting 3 games for $120 with all their additional content included. That's fine. I could do that, but I can see how some game developers or companies are going to try and take advantage of this. Be like, oh no, you're $60. No, it's going to be 75 for cross network features now. I can see that happening, and it's unfortunate because a lot of people today are low budget gamers or moderate budget gamers. Like, don't all have that type of money to blow all the time.
Well, and another thing I was just thinking about too is the fact that, because when I went, because how I did, like, I know I keep bringing up GTA, but for me, that's the most relevant game that would make me excited for this. But when I went from like platform to platform, I went from PlayStation 3, which was what I originally had, to PC. But what I didn't know is in doing that and not going from PS3 to PS4 to PC is on my PS4, I had to start over a completely new character, which I'm not going to get into my opinion on that because that could literally be an hour long like rant for me, but with like what I'm wondering now is with this is will I be able to like how are they going to do this? Is it just going to be like whatever profile you use or like whatever platform profile you use, is that going to be what it shows to the other console that you're playing on? So like if I'm PC playing on playing GTA 5 assuming that they do this with PS4,
So
is that going to show my PS4 data or my PC profile, and how would they even begin
so,
to do that?
That's
So I imagine
interesting.
what you're getting at is you're worried about the aspect of 3 different profiles for 3 different consoles rather than one master key for all 3, correct?
Exactly.
I presume that's where you're going with it. And I can understand that. That is a shit ton of stuff to try and remember, especially with the social club interaction on Rockstar. You have to create an email, a password, and all your stuff for GTA 5 is linked through that. While I don't know, for say the PC port, you already have your stuff auto saved or whatnot, and not wanting to have to go create another profile. I can understand that.
Well, it's not so
It's
much
just
that,
it's a
it's
very
sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's a very picky topic. It's like so much could go wrong, but if it goes through, it's gonna be like groundbreaking. It's gonna be
This,
really good.
if this goes through like they want it to go through, and if nobody gets fucking greedy, ha ha ha, that's never
We'll
gonna happen.
see.
Companies are always gonna get greedy. I mean, that's just the facts of it. But if everything goes through, we are going to see the actual face of gaming change forever. This is going to break down like the fourth
Console
wall.
wars.
The console wars will be dead. Thank God. I'm tired of hearing of that. The PC master race can't sit there and be like, "Oh, we're the elitist." I mean, sure, you can run better graphics, but now
It'll be
games
like an
aren't
even.
restricted to just you playing with other PC master races. It's like, you got to put up with console peasants. So,
That's another thing
straight up,
that
your
that
chauvinistic
I'm
ass. I
worried
mean,
about too though is like how is playing keyboard and mouse I know people are gonna be like, quit going back to GTA. They haven't even
no,
remotely said their
I
involvement. But like on that was weird. On GTA 5
I read
on
some articles
PC,
about
you
GTA
can
doing
do
that.
like keyboard and mouse, or you can do a controller. Technically, people can
yeah,
get
I know
into,
what
well, you can use that on a PS4 and Xbox, but whatever. But straight out of the box for my PC, I can literally use a gamepad. I can use keyboard and mouse. Whatever. Even for certain games, you can use a wheel and stuff. So how is that going to transition into playing with consoles where they only can
right.
use natively, anyways, their controller?
Yeah,
It's true.
and you've got a point. I mean, when you go to join an online session at GTA and your friends are all playing with controllers and you're the scrub with the mouse and keyboard, it warns you. It's like, hey, they have
Yeah,
auto
it
turn
asks
on.
you to actually change it too.
Yeah, but it's optional. It's not a mandated thing, and I hope it never becomes a
Yeah, it's like
mandated
a
thing. But
suggestion.
you know, yeah, but sticking to your point, that's pretty valid. I keep saying that, and I piss myself off because it sounds like I'm just brushing you off. No, it's a really good point to bring up because we don't know how it's going to affect. I mean, as of right now, the subject's more of a sit and wait type of thing. See what the companies do and how they react to it, and see if we're gonna get fucked or not fucked like we think we're going to. I mean,
Yeah,
personally, that's all I've really got for this.
I think the biggest thing though is like people need to be open at least to the idea of this. Because even if they set this up properly, it's not saying you have to play, well, I mean, even then, like, the more I talk about this, the more I keep
No,
thinking, like,
no,
well, what if, what if, what if? So, even as I was just about to say, so how is this going to work? Are you going to be forced into lobbies with other things, or is there going to be like a priority thing, like only let me play with, X platform, or only match me, say, with like other platforms,
Unless they put it like a setting, like
yeah,
it'd be
or
like
yeah, like a system update setting where it's going to be there, like, okay, so out of the 3 platforms available, PC, PS4, Xbox One, and let's not leave out the previous gens of 360 and
are they even
PS3.
gonna include the 360 and
I
the
don't think
PS3?
they will.
I, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think it specifies. I'm not sure. It only mentions the PS4 and Xbox One, but again, that's another thing that wasn't really mentioned. We don't really know. So right now,
I'm
everybody's
I'm gonna go
skeptical.
on
But
the somewhat fair assumption of it's not gonna be last gen, both because of hardware and just because of. Could you imagine the shit show of not only rolling out this cross network play for, I guess now it would be current gen. Some people might still say next, but basically PS4, Xbox One, and PC being current gen. What like
Yeah,
how
well,
would that
I
even
mean,
work? Because we don't even know how smooth this is gonna go, or what games are even gonna participate. This could be something that some games are just like, no, we don't care in doing that. It's
no.
way too much work.
Yeah,
That's true.
exactly. Um, it's all just a matter of wait and see. Although personally, I think assumptions make me and you make all of us look like assholes. Ha ha ha, poking fun at you. Um, but no, I mean it's really just a wait and see. I'm really excited to hear what they have coming, what they have planned. Sincerely hope Steam, Microsoft, and Sony can get along well enough to not throw any snafus through this. But then again, there's always that little sliver, and maybe it's just because I'm a little bit of a pessimist. There's always that slight chance where the companies could fight like children in kindergarten over the block area. It's
No,
like, no,
it's
we
a
did all
valid
this
point
work for you.
though.
You need to do it, and then the other company,
Now I'm
and
just
then
like, since we're talking about it more, I'm just thinking more and more
Yeah, that's
about
like the
it.
same thing
So
I was. Like I just keep constantly keep being like, and I know a lot of people that might watch this might be like, well, look, all you're doing is speculating. But you guys need to understand, I'm not doing this
but
to
that's the whole
make it like a conspiracy or like if I say something that like puts, anything down, I'm not trying to, but for me, I feel like this is the best way to discuss this because the only way that things like this can go through well, in my opinion, is to have people openly discussing these things and not just have it be like, no, I don't want it. Okay, but why don't you want it? Well, I don't like this. Okay, what
explain.
could they do to make you at least be accepting of it? Because that's the thing is everyone's
We're
not
not
going to
even
be
accepting.
receptive of this.
No, no, and I guarantee you, all three communities are going to be like, "Fuck those peasants, keep them away from me." And unfortunately, that is the type of attitude right there that kills gaming. It's this superiority. I'm just gonna say it. My dick's bigger than yours, or I have, you know, my controller's better than yours. Type of fucking attitude shit that kills
smooth.
communities.
But
That
honestly, I
is
think
what
that's
I'm
like a
That's
talking
small
about.
subsection of it. I don't think that
Like,
those people represent like what gamers are. Like obviously there's people like that in
no.
everything. There's people that are like, "Oh, my car is better than yours. My house is better than yours. My internet's better than yours. My clothes are better than yours. My shoes are better than yours. My hair is better than yours." It's like there's elitist groups everywhere. And to me, I don't feel like that represents a majority, but that might just be me. You know,
I just
Yeah.
have one concern. Okay, let's just say this really works. Like the cross network works, everyone's playing, everyone's fine. Like, okay, cool. And then what about when they bring out the new consoles? Are they gonna
Um.
really fight about it, or is it just gonna be like an even playing field? Like, oh, okay, whatever. We just got like the Xbox Two. I'm not saying
Um.
they're gonna have an Xbox Two, but
Um. I
this is when
know.
that's actually what the next
I'm
one is.
pretty
But like,
sure I read
well,
an
you
article.
heard it first.
Um. I thought I read on an article a couple weeks ago that Microsoft isn't planning to unveil a new system until like 2021. I think. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I can't bring up a link for you. I thought that's what I read, but I'm not exactly sure.
I'm
So
just curious.
if it does go through, at least rumored Microsoft won't be rolling out a new console for a while. But then again, we've had dumber shit happen for far less smarter reasons.
I don't know. I think that
I
we'll
just,
see
from the
Xbox
bottom of
release
my heart,
sooner.
I just wish this really works. From the bottom of my heart, please work. Because it would
You
be
know.
really cool to play with my PlayStation 4 people. Someone.
All right. So, Acid, if you do you want to do the next topic, or do you want me to roll into it?
Nah, I can do it. If my browser unfreezes again. I don't know why it keeps. Okay, there we go. But yeah, the next topic that we're going to be talking about is kind of the fact of, for me, at least personally, it's a highlight of the iOS 9.3 release, and that being the fact that they added what they're calling a night shift mode. which is basically I'm trying to remember exactly how it works. Okay, reading
It
from
says
the
something about they use the clock and the geolocation.
yeah, it's basically what it'll do is it basically like warms the colors of your phone screen, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it like takes out the like it doesn't take it out, but it makes like the blue, I think it's blue light softer or something like that because it's easier on your eyes at night.
I guess like yeah.
Yeah, because according to the article here, many studies have shown that exposure to bright light in the evening can affect your. I'm not even gonna fucking say that word because I can't fucking
Circadian.
pronounce it. Whatever. Rhythms and make it harder to fall asleep. Night shift uses your iOS device's clock and geolocation to determine whether when it's sunset in your location. Then it automatically shifts the color in your display to the warmer end of the spectrum. In the morning, the display it returns the display to its regular settings. Pleasant dreams. Ah, nice touch, Apple. I see what you did there. But it's not a bad idea. Personally, I've fucked myself into sleepless nights, many sleepless nights, because I'm there like, oh, hey, YouTube app on my phone, you're my friend. I'm gonna read this. Or I'm gonna watch a bunch of shit, and next
Mm-hmm.
thing you know, it's fucking 5 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah, and you're just like, whoa, what just
Like,
happened?
yeah, that's
and
cool.
I'm
I didn't
just
want to
there.
sleep or
I'm,
anything.
I wanted to sleep, and I have to be at work at 8 a.m. It's
And
just
you grab
dreading getting
that
that
Red Bull.
now
Chug
cup of coffee for me, anyways, because I'll just keep my opinions to myself. But it's
it.
not
No,
a
you're
bad
good.
idea.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a cool idea, but it's
I
definitely
really
something
don't
that
have.
people will be quick to point out that's been done on Android before, but to my knowledge, it's not native. Like there's apps that can do it, but someone please correct me if I'm wrong if there's an Android phone that does have this natively. And by natively I mean not through an app, like in the actual phone.
I mean, the only thing is you could put yourself the brightness down, but what like iPhone could do that too.
Yeah, I mean, I personally keep my iPhone on auto bright. I like it. I don't mind the shifts because it actually is pretty helpful sometimes.
I've never
It's
liked
just
the
fucking irritating
way
to
that
use
it
both.
changes it. For me, it seems like it's always the opposite of what the brightness should be. Like during the
I mean,
day
it's
when I'm
right.
outside,
It's really
it's like,
fucking
oh God, it's too bright. Here, let me dim your screen so you have to squint like a motherfucker. And then at night, it's like, oh yeah, I'm still gonna stay dim. Your room is pitch black, but
well.
let me just keep your brightness at 0. It's like your screen's
And
off.
then the next day it could be, it could be the next day could be bright and fucking sunny. It's like power of the blinding fucking sun through your phone.
Yeah, like you're
Oh my
just waking
god.
up and your phone is like
Oh
the
my
fucking
god.
sun right in your face. It's like, okay, thanks, phone. That's great. Thanks.
Thanks. My fucking retinas are burned now, and I think my corneas are scorched. But I'm just gonna go get my coffee and start my fucking day.
Yeah, it's like great,
Um,
that's exactly what I want my phone to do. But I think the biggest
um,
thing with this though is it's not
yeah,
so much like the actual brightness of your display. It's to do with like I said, the blue lights in it. I don't like I would have to obviously look more into this because I haven't researched it, but even from like because I updated my phone and all that, and it like orangish redishes your screen. So I'm assuming it like that blue light has something to do with like stimulating your eyes, like in a way, or like at least with how it reacts in your brain, it makes it harder to fall asleep or something. I'm not really too sure.
um, I really can't comment. However, I do want to kind of poke fun at Apple. Like, if you go below the night shift mode in the article, it's there. Like, if you look on the screen, it's like important usernames and passwords. Okay, first off, any motherfucker with the brain is not going to name a note that. Personally, if I'm going to do that,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
just going to put my name and my password down.
Yeah, I
Like,
just noticed
no
that.
one's going to do that.
Yeah,
Like, no one in their right fucking mind is going to do that. It's there,
and
like, I would not put my username and I'd not be like,
especially since they not only give it a hint of like, hey, if you want to steal my information, make sure to check the important username and passwords note. Because not only do I tell you my account numbers, my username and password, but I also tell you what the account is for. So anyone who wants to steal my identity, feel free to do that. Like, I feel like that's Apple's hint right there. It's like, we don't give a fuck about you.
Who cares?
Yeah, it's just it's just one of those things. Like I was listening to what you were saying, and I just looked. And they're like, okay, no one in the right fucking mind is going to name a note important usernames and passwords, and if you do, you get what you fucking get. Like, I'm sorry, but that's
Yeah,
just
using your
beyond
fingerprint to
important
store that
information.
information, if you're dumb enough to do that, it's not gonna help you. Just gonna throw that out there.
It's just it's not a really good idea. I don't really have more to add to this.
Yeah, that one
It's
was
I
kind of a
agree with
shorter
you.
one, but
I mean, I don't have an iPhone, so I can't say much. All I know it's from
You're not one of us.
I'm not
I'm
wow.
one
disappointed
of us.
now.
Shun the non-believer.
I can't afford an iPhone. Oh my god. No, I just heard someone said that the inaccurate battery was fixed, so that's a good thing. Something about that. There were like issues with that. That's what I was reading.
Yeah, the apparently
Said like
this update is
changes and
supposed to
logos.
be plagued with like the App Store disappearing, battery drain issues. There's like a slew of things that people were saying, which actually makes me wish that I wouldn't have done the update on my phone just because I have a feeling something's gonna happen and it's like, well, time to reset your phone, go back a version only to update the next day because they released 30 bug releases. But I mean, honestly, like I'm glad that people put that information out there if they are having problems because then it kind of falls into your own hands. It's not just like, oh hey, phone maker, what the fuck? Your
Your
phone
phone mater.
maker released the update, and even though we put everything that changed in a changelog, one, you're probably not going to read it. Two, you probably won't understand what half of it is. And three, there's more than two things changed, so we know you dense motherfuckers aren't going to read it anyways. So just update this because you see that a new update is out. But that's literally how I feel though, is because people will update to shit and they're like, it broke my device. Did you look at the changelog? They have those? If they're good, they do.
No. Oh god.
But yeah, that's just that's nothing personal against anyone who doesn't read them. It's
I updated.
just having fun with that. It's not meant to be like anything personal. But that's just my opinion on
I
it.
updated now. I updated my PC and now it's saying W32 is missing. What do I do?
Oh,
Okay, one, how many
obviously the
fucking
answer is to delete
no.
System 32. You didn't know that? I thought it was common sense that that was the best thing to do when your PC's having problems. Oh no, or bathe it in water. I've heard that's a really good solution. It gets your motherboard and your CPU really clean.
Like clean it right up. Make sure to
Yeah.
put soap in there too.
No,
Or you know what?
get some dish detergent.
Take
Just
a
pour
magnet
that shit
across
in
your
there.
hard drive. Take a magnet across your HDD. It cleans out those file fragments and those
Oh
file
yeah, man, you'll
fragments
never
that
have to
don't work
defragment
anymore.
that
They'll
shit
work.
again. There'll be like a fucking cluster. All your files will be bam right there. It also makes it faster too. And in case anyone doesn't realize, we're being sarcastic. Just in case someone can't get that.
Please don't do this.
Yeah, yeah. If you do this, we claim no responsibility for you being dumb enough to do it.
If you believe everything you read on the internet, then so be it. Chemtrails are real. Blah blah blah. Anyways, I think we should move on
Oh
before we
god.
start picking on the lower end of the spectrum of the of society.
Yeah, agreed.
Uh,
All right, so I'll let you cover the next two since that's kind of your thing.
all right. So, unless Dream wants to do it, I have no
I mean,
problems.
yeah, I could do it. So the news is that lawbreakers before it used to be free. Now, according to Boss Key Production at the GDC panel, they said that it was not going to be free to play. Instead, it's going to be exclusive to only Steam. So, what do you guys think about that?
Um, personally, in shades of what Mortal Kombat just did with their combat pack, and what they just did to, I think they revoked support for the PC port while the consoles still get it. And in the shades of that, I think that's how it went. Anyways, that's a kind of a dick move. Okay, so in
Yeah.
the article, they explained that if it takes more than 3 steps, um, then players aren't going to have interest. Okay, personally, this is my opinion on it. You dense motherfucker. What? because and the only reason I'm saying this, look at Steam or look at League of Legends. They have a launcher that updates through their own files and creates their own paths. And it takes more than 3 steps because you launch it, it updates, you have to log in, and then you start playing. Granted, it's technically 4 steps, but that fourth step could be, hit or miss. But one, it's completely skewed to think that if people are going to have to take more than 3 steps, so they're not going to play it. Personally, if you do a really good job on your game, you polish it, and I mean you polish that some bitch until I can see the reflection of my teeth, looking back at me, and you do really well, you give good support, your customers are happy, then I'll invest. It doesn't matter how many steps, I'll invest in it because, if everyone else is saying they're having a good time, then I'm gonna read it or play it. Play it, read it, whatever the fuck. We're here. Yeah.
One or the other, whichever one
Anyways,
applies.
yeah. Switching to Steam, I don't really see where that makes sense rather than doing your own launcher. But then again, well, let me look through the articles.
Actually, if you read the
Where
next
the release
paragraph
window
down, it makes sense. They said
yeah.
they felt they felt that a launcher just put up more barriers to people actually playing the game, and that if it makes more than 3 steps, many people just walk away entirely. Which it kind of goes a little bit full circle because I think you did
Basically
say that
polish
before,
people's
but I don't agree with that anyways though. Because if people really want to play, like, if they make that solid of a game, people are going to play it, regardless of, I mean, unless it takes like 40 steps, okay, then that's just fucking stupid. But really, you're going to tell me 4 steps is too much to stop you from playing a game. Because literally, you could say the same for Steam. That's only one more step than Steam has, because Steam, you have to log in, it shows you the update thing if there's updates, like you had said, and then you have to, find the game and launch it. And even some games have like a sub launcher inside of the game.
Exactly. Like Sid Meier's, fuck anybody who's gonna try and sit there and nitpick me for how I pronounce his name. I don't fucking care. I bought the game. I'm happy. Sid Meier's Civ 5. It asks you, do you want to play Civ in DX9, DX10 or 11, or DX8 touch mode? That's what sub launcher inside of a launcher. Exactly what you were slaying. Yeah.
Slaying,
Exactly
yeah,
what you were
slaying
saying.
it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, just fucking kill it, bro. Anyways, yeah, and if you're too fucking lazy to take that extra step, then I'm sorry, don't get on board. No one by any means has a gun to your fucking head and says you're gonna play my game, I'm gonna shoot you in the fucking face. No one is doing that here. If you don't want to take the steps to play the game, then don't invest in it. Then obviously that extra step is just too much work for you, and you're not interested. I don't think you're any less of a human being. I don't think you're stupid. I just think it's kind of pointless to sit there and be like, oh, 4 steps, nope, not touching it. Fuck that, get it out of here. That's just a narrow-minded way to
Though
really
reading through
think
the comments, people
about
actually have a lot of good points on it. Because someone was like, they were quoting that the art director, Tremel Isaac, said the free-to-play model made development become about, quote, how do we get money instead of, quote, how do we make a great game? So
eventually it was going to be pay to win.
Not
Unfortunately,
necessarily,
that's
but
what
their
most
problem
free-to-play
was
games do.
basically trying to figure out how do we make money or how do we get money from this? But someone was like, maybe try this, make a good game, then and only then figure out how to monetize it. It's like, why wouldn't you put the game out and let people actually see? Because, like, literally, you can doctor up screenshots, you can show, quote, in game footage, and that doesn't mean everyone's going to have that same
And then with a little
experience.
asterisk be there like, and then with a little asterisk be there like, this isn't real in-game footage. You're a fucking sap and a moron. Ha 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 ha
Yeah.
ha ha.
But I mean, I don't
Um,
personally have an opinion. Like, I know I'm talking about this, but like, I don't really have an opinion on this that much because honestly, I didn't even know this game was a thing until you linked me the
I didn't
article.
know
But
until I didn't know
yeah.
this was a thing.
Yeah, it was something I was looking on PC Gamer, and it's they're like, oh, well, hey, look at this. People who are there like, oh, hey, free to play launcher just got dicked, and it's they're like, no, get dicked by Steam.
yeah,
And pretty much in latent terms, and it's just it's almost a little bit shades of, like I said in my first statement, opinion, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's just like Mortal Kombat being there, like, hey, PC port players, ha, fuck you, no technical support and no DLC, get the fuck out of here.
Pretty
It's
much.
just what it kind of feels like.
But I think according to Boss Key Productions, they were saying something about it's not going to be a $60 price mark, so it's
Yeah,
probably going to be cheaper. Which I guess it's a good thing, but
but
for free
but
to play,
but how do you
it's like we're putting a price onto it.
subconsciously, how do you go from being like, oh, free to play launcher to, oh, it won't be a $60 price tag? Like, you kind of just like flip flopped on that spectrum of
Yeah,
free to play, pay to win, to, you know, pay money, pay to win. Unfortunately, that's how a lot of games go: pay money, pay win. People who dump 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 bucks in microtransactions generally will beat players who don't participate that at all. Really good example of that would be the Madden franchise. Um,
oh
if you
my
really
god.
want proof, I mean, just go onto YouTube and type in Madden microtransactions, and you can find a whole plethora of arguments that are pro or con of that. Probably mostly con,
well, that's
but
like anything
again,
though. There's gonna be, there has to be both sides of the spectrum. It's not unless a game does an amazing job. There's never gonna be a point where everyone's like, yeah, they did this shit right.
yeah, no, there's always going to be that one thing that will never get you that 10 out of 10, where people will just constantly put you at a 9.9 out of a 10, which by all means, if you're scoring a 9.9 out of a 10 on a game, then god damn it, you should pat yourself on the back, get yourself a fucking
Yeah.
cookie, and, congratulate your coworkers because you've made a stellar game that people commonly agree on that is a high ranking game.
That's true.
Not a lot of companies could sit there and be like, we made like a 9.5 and a higher, or a 4.5 out of 5-star game, or 4 3/4, whatever. Not a lot of companies can successfully say that, hey, we did that and we're the reigning champs. And I'm talking not just select companies you paid to review your games, I'm talking about your consumers
Ooh.
and companies you don't necessarily like, that said, hey, here's a pretty solid game, or here's, better yet, here's a great game. Check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's
And,
true.
granted, for some games, it's they're like, oh, I won't bring up website names, but it's they're like so and so company,
10 out of
10
10.
out of 10, play again. If you can't pick up the reference I'm laying down, then I'm sorry, then you're just going to be
10 out of 10.
left in the house. But, again, I'm probably
Play again.
senselessly incoherently rambling.
For sure, everyone
Um,
by now should know that.
yeah. There are some companies that just pay other companies and be like, here, I'm going to give you X amount of money. You're going to say my game's good, and you're going to lie, and I'm going to swear to it. But,
So
again,
I don't know,
That's how
like,
business works.
because I know it's somewhat off like the actual topic, but I kind of feel like people getting paid to positively review a game reflects negatively on the company that's doing it, but also the content producer that goes under those terms. Like
endorses.
I get it. I get it. Everyone needs to make a living. But at the same time, the people that are making a living are possibly going to
Why sell
spend
them
their
into?
money on this game that you're talking about because you say good things about it. It's like, but you're gonna falsely advertise that this game is good for money in your
Yeah.
pocket for people to possibly waste their
My
hard-earned money
doctor's office is calling me.
into a game that's not
I gotta
good.
take that. Okay, so moving on to the next subject, we're gonna start getting into personally one of my um, one of the articles that actually kind of reached out and kind of grabbed me. Um, the Pokken Tournaments punishment for rage quitting. We may actually start seeing rage quitters um, getting punished for sad antics of actually rage quitting and online matches. According to the article, the Pokemon fighting game warns you not to quit in the middle of a match when you first jump online via Eurogamer. The in-game trainer Naya says quitting in the middle of a battle is rude to your opponent and threatens you with a penalty if you do so. If you decide to ignore Naya's pleas and disconnect from an online match, you will have some of your Pokegold taken away from you. Pokegold is used to buy cosmetic items for Pokemon. Now, this, in my opinion, will set a precedent for people who constantly ruin the online gaming experience for other players. This can set a precedent if this company can be successful with putting on the stipulation of um, punishing rage quitter and shout out to Capcom Street Fighter 5 for their efforts. They're also doing another program based on like disconnect percentage to win ratio or something like that. There's another link for Street Fighter's version, but anyways, if we see this successfully happen and go in, um, let's face it, rage quitting for some people is probably one of the funniest things you can um, see or hear. I
Yeah.
know Acid personally with the games we play with each other. We generally find enjoyment out of our rage quitting with each other. However, if this goes through and it's successfully pushed and they're still successful after it happens, um, we can we can see where this is uh where this is going to go as far as people getting temporary bans. I don't think it'll ever escalate to a point of perma bans, but that's not exactly out of the question because honestly, when I go online to play a game, I expect to play the game through a full match without a lot of hindrance. I can understand latency, ping, whatever. It can get asinine sometimes with some people's internet, and I'm not going to bastardize you for that. But looking through the comments here, one of the comments is I always find it by Bretter Decide. I actually like that screen name. Anyways, I always find it funny how many people suddenly have bad internet connections when they implement punishments for rage quitters. Honestly, how bad can your connection be at this day and age if your internet disconnects that much? Maybe change providers or use a direct link, get off the Wi-Fi. Once, twice, maybe, but it shouldn't happen so much that you'll be seen as a rage quitter. I can't exactly agree with that argument. Um, Unfortunately for Acid's situation, a lot of games won't let him play online because of a high ping rate, and that's not exactly fair for the people who are fucked. And look at me using
It's I don't
using
know.
internets.
It's hard though too cuz like you can't there's no like one way of going about things cuz it's just like well, okay, that might work for everyone that has like a decent connection. It's like okay, you say you have a 1% chance of getting disconnected often enough to be considered a rage quitter. But in my opinion, that shouldn't be
Yeah.
the only factor because there's so many things. Like, say, even like on cable or like a really good internet connection, you can have a storm roll through and it knocks out your internet repeatedly.
Ooh, yeah. Happens to
Um.
me all the time.
I'm not trying to side with this, but however, on the Street Fighter article, I'm looking at it now. Their system actually looks at. Let me see. Did I enjoy this article? Of course, I enjoyed this articles. Where the fuck is it? Uh, Give me a minute.
No, you're good, but personally, I think I like this. I mean, myself, once in a while I'll be playing Call of Duty and then I'll just quit. I'll be like, I'm so done, and I can see how like unfair it is to other people. It's happened to me so many times,
But at the same
and I
time,
don't
though,
think
like
about like
there's
the other
literally
people's
times where you just
mentality.
get in a bad lobby. Like you either don't like the people that are
Yo,
playing with, or people are just constantly fucking with you. It's
many
like, well, is
times.
stuff like that going to be taken into consideration? So if not, like, like you even just
And how
said,
many
Dream, there's
times
a
does it
lot of
come?
times where I just quit the game. Like, it's not like I'm, like, I also don't know if they're only going to apply this to competitive too, though. Because, like, if it's competitive, like, say, for example, a Call of Duty tournament, which in that
Yeah,
I don't really think this would apply anyways, because if you rage quit during a tournament for money, you're fucking stupid.
you're just done. You're just like, okay, whatever. You're not getting the money,
Yeah, but
but
like, I don't know. There's so many ways you could apply this where it's like it's kind of vague enough to where you can't really know all of it. Because for all we know, it's just like, well, yeah, no,
you quit. You're considered a rage quitter.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, personally, let's just get into personal details. I mean, be honest here. Are you a rage quitter or are you not? Personally, I've been known to rage quit. I am a rage
Uh,
quitter. However,
yeah.
I refrain from doing so online, except for back when I was playing Call of Duty, which I no longer play. I'm a noob. I don't play Call of Duty. Anyways, I used to rage quit a lot, quite a lot. And, in some instances, I felt justified in rage quitting. The server was being a piece of shit. It couldn't stabilize. I was getting lag killed. I was getting lag spiked. But on the other side of that coin, you have people who purposely manipulate, and it may be a dead technology, but you purposely have people who have lag switching where down to a mastery. And it's people like this who, for me, take a lot of fun out of the game, because if you can't win fairly, then don't fucking play at all. Like, the games are meant to have win and loss for a reason, not you constantly win. And I feel like sometimes these games, I'm not trying to bash it. I used to love Call of Duty. I still respect it as a game franchise, but again, call the bastard out when you see it. But Call of Duty encourages a really high, get constant wins or constantly beat your opponents for kill streaks,
Oh
skins,
yeah.
blah blah blah. Games like that, it's a double-edged sword, because yes, they want to promote the competitive nature, and I get that, I understand that. But where do you draw the line between competitive nature and, you know, people cheating to win because they want to be the best? Oh, bro, my KD's like 834
Oh my
million to
god.
1. Like,
I don't like
I
people
don't
like
I
that.
don't it's like, I don't give a fuck what your KD is, what's your credit score? Like, I don't really fucking
right.
care. You can have, what are you gonna put on your fucking resume? 834 million KD, in Call of
Knows how to
Duty,
do 360s.
360 no scope, blaze it, douchebag. I don't care if you can quick scope. I don't care if you have honed the skill to quick scope and you're like a master expert, master chief, degree 8 billion. I just don't care. Again, it's a double edged sword. I feel like I'm rambling, but it's a double edged sword. You can take it or leave it, but personally, I'd love to see this actually go through where rage quitters are getting punished
Punished.
for bad behavior. It can ruin the experience for people sometimes.
I think this should just
Like,
be like a strictly competitive thing. Cause like if I'm just in a
yeah,
pub match, like say, if Call of Duty was to do this, which I could be wrong, but I doubt they will. But I think for games where you're literally competing, like for some kind of prize, whether it be money or like a trophy, something like that, where there's something at stake aside from pride, then I feel like something like this should be applied. But in just a public match, if I don't like the lobby that there could literally be a string of
The
bad
opposite can
lobbies.
happen.
And then it's like, oh, I'm going to
yeah,
be considered a
everyone.
rage quitter or whatever just because, you know, the team is
I don't
constantly
want to
fucking
hear.
yelling in my ear. They're constantly screwing with other
You can
Exactly.
people.
do this.
It's like
You know,
it's too vague to really
they're
know because this is just for one specific thing. I honestly don't think that this will set a precedent for other people to do it. I really don't.
Same
but
here.
you you never know.
I mean,
We
I
could
hope so.
we could see this implemented. We could not. Personally, I'm just saying. As far as I feel, I rather enjoy that companies realize that rage quitting is a bad thing. Personally, if you're doing it for comedic purposes, by all means. But um, I can understand people who rage quit because you're stuck in a fucking lobby with a bunch of goddamn squeakers. I can
Yep.
understand that. Or you're stuck with the kid who fucking sounds like he's eating his milk like this all the time.
Though
Even though
people will
he's got
also
the fucking
argue
mic
that's why
down to
there's a
his
mute
goddamn
option.
esophagus. Yeah. I don't really care personally. Like if I see their screen name come across my screen while I'm playing them, they're like, I can't do it because all I can imagine is coming out of their microphone, or the guy who constantly screams at the microphone like, "Hi guys, my name's da 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 da." It's like that's fucking irritating. Shut up.
That one guy, oh my god, that one guy that plays music over the mic
Oh,
that
Oh my
you
yeah,
don't
they
god.
know
have
his
fucking
name.
music in
Like,
the background.
Exactly.
Or like the person who has their
Yeah.
whole family having a fucking team deathmatch in the background. You motherfucker! No, you're a bitch! It's like, shut up!
It's like, bruh,
oh
get your
god.
family under control.
Right?
Or like, just take out your Connect. What's going on? I mean, for
Or it's
Xbox.
like, and I don't want to hear the goddamn excuse, oh, I don't have a headset. Bullshit. Every fucking Microsoft, and I think Sony's starting to do it now, every console they sell now comes with a basic headset.
Yeah,
I
even
don't
though
want to hear that you don't
it's
have a
not the
headset.
best, but
Yeah, and
it's
basic is
something.
extremely
Exactly.
underlined repeatedly. At least for PS4, I don't know about Xbox One.
I mean, for
I
Xbox
mean,
One, you don't even get the other like
no, you get the
little.
stupid one ear.
Yeah.
It's got the
Yeah,
dual
that's the
input.
same thing
I
PS4
mean,
did.
I don't know how. But it's still, it's you have a headset, use it. I mean, that's just common sense. I mean,
Or just
back
don't
when the
use it at all.
yeah, back when the Connect first came out, I got so fucking irritated. I boycotted my first. I think it was Blops 2, Black Ops 2. I boycotted it for almost 3 months because I was there like, no, I don't want to hear the echo of. It sounds like they're drowning in water from their fucking Connect.
I
Like
mean,
it's like, ugh.
I would admit I did use the Connect once, but it was like in a party. I would never go on public like and talk.
Yeah,
It would always be in a party. That's
exactly.
because I was
And
cheap
and
at it.
most and most Call of Duty player, or not most Call of Duty players, most players now use just a party system. Like now, if I were to boot up Call of Duty, I'd start my own party, set it to invite only, and I'd be the only one in there, and I could scream all the fucking obscenities I want, and no one's gonna say a goddamn thing to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they know you.
Alright, do we want to move on to the next topic?
Yeah.
Wow, so much pressure. Okay, so apparently,
It's just a string of oh shit. Yeah, no, fuck, yep.
oh,
I'm lost.
okay, I'm gonna start it.
Quit
Red Dead
laughing.
Redemption is rumored. Are you trying to start it? Yeah. I cried.
God damn it.
Do you want to start it?
No, you can do it. I'm getting amusement out of you trying to do it.
Dang it. Oh, I need to chug a gallon of water here. Stop. Oh.
Oh my god, fuck it.
Do
Yeah,
do
I got
do
this,
do do
guys.
do
I
do
got this,
do.
I
guys.
feel so
Red
bad
Dead
for
Redemption
someone.
2 rumored for release at E3 reveal and 2017 release. According to the article, the critically acclaimed series, personally one of my favorite games ever to come out on the Xbox ever. Like I loved the story to Red Dead. Anyways, the a revolutionary sandbox game that's been neglected. Oh god, when was the last? Let's see here. I'll finish reading and then do my research. Let's see. the 2010. So we have not heard anything from Red Dead in over 6 years. It's kind of mind blowing that such a popular series was put off for so long. But the good news is, it's got an E3 release date. Or not an E3 release date, but June's E3 trade fair is when it's going to preview, and the fall of 17 is when it's going to supposedly drop. Personally, I'm extremely excited about this game. As far as Rockstar, I believe is the company yeah, Rockstar, who made the game. I think John Marston is, if it does keep John Marston, was one of the best written characters with one of the best written backgrounds I have ever seen in current day gaming. There
But
was just
I
go
want
ahead.
to be like mean to you, but spoiler for anyone who hasn't played Red Dead, doesn't he die at the end?
I never got that far.
Yeah, I
I'm
haven't either.
spoiling it for you, but um, yeah, I don't think he'll. Sadly, I don't think he would.
You
'Cause,
never know,
I
but
mean, unless you want me to tell you, I don't want to spoil anything for you. I mean, I
I
already
really
did.
don't give a shit. He can just put it in a spoiler alert and then cut it out.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Uh, he mostly, I think, like he just gets gunned down by these people, and he just dies.
Yeah.
And
Well, what a way to go out, Marston. You're supposed to be the badass of the West. You die like a pansy.
but he died.
Anyways, um, I'm really excited to see this game series come back because back when it came out in 2010, 2010, 2010, 2010, Jesus Christ, if I could fucking talk today. Back when the game came out, I mean, we're talking like revolutionary sandbox changing, a game that changed everything we knew about sandbox and just added a layer of depth. They added hunting, different challenges. You had to go from one town to another to get to mission start areas or mission areas. You had side quests along those like little trails. It was all those little intricate details that just made me love the game. I mean, still
And
probably
the
I could pick
online
up.
was so great too.
Exactly. I mean, the online sandbox was mind blowing. I could go harass my friends with a lasso while riding my horse and drag them on the road and
Yeah, that
be a
was probably
complete
one
and
of the
utter
best
dick and
things
they
of
would
it.
shoot me in the face. It was just that good. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts?
I
Pretty
I
excited
don't
because
know.
I hope it really does happen. But I remember on the Xbox One, they were gonna had Red Dead. They already had Red Dead like playable on the Xbox One, but they took it out. So I'm thinking, me being like a conspiracy person, is maybe they're like holding that back and putting it like, oh, like in E3, they're gonna be like, oh, we have Red Dead 2, according to this source. It says that apparently it's gonna be named Legends of the West. And be like, oh, Red Dead Redemption 2 Legends of the West. It's gonna be out fall 2017. And oh, by the way, we have Red Dead on Xbox One right now, and everyone will be like, "Oh, like,
Everyone's
oh,
gonna lose their fucking shit at the
just
on
yeah," and they'll start
yep.
playing it. There's YouTube videos of people when that came out, and it played fine, so there was no reason for people to like Xbox to take it out. So I'm assuming they're just holding it on for that.
Either that or like
But I
somebody
just really
accidentally
hope.
flipped the wrong switch and it was like, oh shit. Well, there goes that being a
No.
secret.
Yeah. According to the article, I believe it came out and the mysterious email uh went on to state that Red Dead 2 will release in the fall of 17 and will officially be announced by Rockstar in the upcoming June E3 trade fair. Apparently, the sequel will offer the option for gamers to play more than one character in a much larger environment than previously seen in the original title. So, based off of that, I think we're going to see another type of Grand Theft Auto 5 format
Pretty
where you
much.
play the perspective of three different characters, which I actually enjoyed.
Ah, it was amazing.
That was a really interesting thing for Rockstar to do. I'm glad they're carrying on with something that was completely successful. But being the bastard that I am, Rockstar, you have been previously noted to port to shit ass companies. I'm
Except for
talking about
GTA
your
5.
GTA 4. No, not GTA 5. I am GTA 4 with their PC port. I remember trying to play LCPDFR with you. Obviously, I don't want to hear the
Oh
argument
God.
that it's not supported online. How much of a clusterfuck that was even to get to cooperate. That was, and mainly I think that had to do with the shit ass port. Please, 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 please. If you're going to pull the trigger on this, please do your own in-house PC port and online port, please. I feel, the feeling I get, if you're not going to keep it in house, then you're going to kill a franchise in which you could capitalize on just not, just as much, if not more than what you did for GTA 5. Like, and that's my honest feeling. If they don't do this right, they are going to kill this series and lose a shit ton of money.
I don't think so at all. Because they could do a completely terrible port, and even if people have already bought it, I mean, though I guess with Steam having the refund thing, I guess they could, but I don't necessarily think they'd lose money. I think they could easily be below like what they project or what they assume, the income will be versus what they have to spend to make it. But I wouldn't exactly say it would kill it.
I mean, I don't know, because I mean, if you look at the Arkham Knight with Warner Brothers and that whole clusterfuck on Steam, um,
Oh
it
God,
was a
I
broken
remember
game.
reading about that.
A lot of people got their money back, and they Warner Brothers, I think, pulled the game from the shelves until it was fixed. And it just goes to show you, and the commonality between Rockstar doing the GTA 4 port and Warner Brothers doing the Arkham Knight or Arkham City, whatever the fuck it was called. I'm not a Batman game player, but anyways, they ported to third party companies, and look what happens. I mean, history has a tendency to repeat itself, and if you don't learn from history, you're never going to learn anything at all. I'm sorry to say, Warner Brothers should have taken a page out of Rockstar's book and been there like, hey, third party PC port, nope.
Yeah, but I think it all
And and
comes
I,
down
and
to
I, I
money.
get it. Not all the good.
Like, I feel like it's more about money though, because it's like even though technically they could, I don't, I'm talking on my ass here because I don't know how like that whole process goes. Like I'm assuming there's still money involved in internal resources when you're working with your own company, but even if you outsource it to a company, there are chances that that company can do it better than you would be able to do in house, or at least even be able to maintain it better because you might not have the resources or the team, because as far as I know, there's nothing saying like, oh, whatever division of like say Rockstar North, they don't really say like
Yeah.
they credit whoever is involved in it, but it's never like, oh, we have a staff of like 100 people. Okay, that might be drastic, but say like 50 coders, like 5 people working on like voices and handling like all the audio and visual management and stuff like that. You don't know the size of the team, so for some games, I feel like they almost feel it's better to outsource it or to third party it than it would be to just be like, well, we might have the team and the resources and the money, but for whatever reason, they wouldn't be able to do it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm trying to think of how to word that better.
I just want to add something. I was reading this comment right now, and it was saying like, I believe it when I see it. It's by Diablo Awesome. He's like, I believe it when I see it, but it looks fake. Without wanting to nitpick, but wouldn't this be technically Red Dead 3? I totally forgot that there was Red Dead Revolver, which was the first one to Redemption. So he has a point there. He or
Well, but
she.
technically not, though, because you can have a second series of a game and not have it be a continuation.
True. And then he was saying also, he's like, and doesn't redemption part comes from John Moss? Go, I can't even talk today. John Marston search for redemption. So he's like, so a sequel named Redemption wouldn't make much sense unless it takes on similar premise or themes of seeking a redemption of some sort. And
Oh,
then he said that
and
Legends of the West is a pretty bad title.
to
I think it's
debunk
cool.
to debunk your title about Red Dead Redemption not being on the next gen console. The source also claims the information was obtained from an ex Rockstar employee that an HD re-release of the original Red Dead Redemption is planned for release by the end of this year on next gen consoles. So we will be seeing Red Dead Redemption coming back to the the next gen consoles back on the shelves. However, going back to our very first subject, here's where a great thing would tie in. If this the cross platforms comes through, this is a perfect example where you
Oh,
can
perfect game.
capitalize on this. Because
Yeah,
let's
that's
say
true.
Acid on PC or PS4, and me and you on the Xbox One, we all want to fuck around on Red Dead Redemption. If this cross platform goes through, I can see money lining the pockets of both the company and Microsoft itself for allowing this to happen. So if this doesn't give you a really solid push into giving that cross platform ability a chance, then I get the stick out of your ass, and I don't know what else to tell you
Well, that's the
besides
thing,
this.
though, is there's still so much that we don't know, both about the rumored Red Dead Redemption 2 as well as the cross-network play, that it's hard to be like, because, obviously I'm not saying anyone's wrong to speculate, what they think or what they feel, or even if it's fact or knowledge-based, I'm not saying anyone's wrong for saying likewise, but I kind of feel like it's exactly that. We can speculate literally everything under the sun, but that doesn't mean, you know, that this is actually how it's going to be. For all we know, anything that we speculate could literally be the exact opposite of what happens in the end.
Exactly. But again, if um you brought up a very valid point, but let's say for all shits and giggles that cross-platform is pushed and is successful, and then this follows suit, and they're like, hey, guess what? Cross-platforming servers for everybody. And that's another thing, coming full circle back to the cross-platform. It's going to take a special type of server anyways. I'm getting off subject. But if we could see this go through, this could be one of the games that jump started. Um,
Would be really amazing.
Well, I
Oh
honestly
my
think
god.
that
I
anyone
can
that's
just
interested
imagine
in the
cross
cross
platforms.
network play is going to jump on it from Rocket League, because as unstated before, I don't think any of us had pointed out, but Rocket League and the company Psyonix, I think it is. I might be saying that wrong, but they have confirmed that they will be the first game and technically company to be doing the cross network play. So technically, if this happens, and say if the PlayStation 4 version of Rocket League does end up following suit, which, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think Sony can say no. Because I know they did say that Sony and the game developer will have to get on board with the cross network play. Like, it's not like just because you're on that console, it's going to be available. The the game itself actually has to have, I'd assume, both the code and the networking to make that a reality. But say even Rocket League on the PS4, which again I would assume, I don't see why they would do it on, like, say, PC but not the 4, because if it's a company that says it, not Sony, then I could see it working. But that would actually be a really early preview of what this could mean and what the potential could actually be for it.
yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Long ago, I was playing Rocket League. For the some people, it's and I'm assuming it's like the place. And I was like, "Am I playing with?" Like, nah. Maybe I'm just tripping, but that's what I constantly kept seeing. I was like, "I'm on PC. Am I really playing with PlayStation people?" Like, I
You
don't know
never.
what it was.
Yeah. Again, it's just a wait and see type of thing for pretty much every subject we've covered in the cast today. It's a lot of skepticism. It's a lot of what ifs. It's a lot of asking questions of the unknown, which we as human beings are prone to do. We question fucking just about everything. But it'll be interesting to see where we're gonna be 3-4 months down the road, or a year down the road, when most of this shit has been, excuse me, discussed in concrete by all these companies. We know Red Dead's going to be a thing according to the article. Hopefully it is.
I hope
Uh,
so.
but other than that, that's about the only solid thing we have. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else you want to add?
Not really.
And the only thing I'm really excited for, and I hope it really does happen, is Red Dead Redemption, like 2. That would be really cool.
Yeah, I
So iffy
definitely
with the
think that even if you're
cross-play.
like not a diehard of the series, like I never was like diehard Red Dead Redemption. Like I enjoyed the game, it was fun. I thought it was a great game, but like I was never like, oh, like when I saw that article, I wasn't like, oh man, I'm so excited. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, that's cool. But then again, I'm also like that with
Neat.
most games, so it's not like I'm just like, oh, yay.
Yay!
Well, if you guys have got nothing else to add, I want to personally thank everyone who's going to take a listen to the first episode of the cast uh, from Take 10 Gaming with myself, Dreamer, and Acid. I hope all you glorious bastards have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you guys later.
Bye.